going to say, yes, this is Robin Becker. She joined us 2 weeks ago, almost 2 weeks ago, from the city of Estes Park. So she will be replacing Amber's position. So we're excited to have her.
Is she going to be regularly with the Historic Preservation Board? Or
we don't know yet. Yeah, maybe just depending on caseload. yeah. But yeah, we'll probably have her around for like the first few meetings to kind of get familiar with everything. So, yeah. All right, and I'll do my best Stacy impersonation with all of this, which we have also hired a replacement for Stacy, so she'll probably be at the June meeting, just as far as that goes. So, Fortune,
Present.
Garrison,
Present.
Miller,
Present.
Sauter,
Present.
Smith,
Here.
Stutzman.
Here.
All right, we have a quorum.
all right. We have an agenda up here in front of us. We have a revised one from here. So, can I have approval of the agenda, please?
I move we approve the agenda.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay. We have the minutes in our study packets. Do you have any additions or thoughts on the minutes? Move we approve the minutes. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor of approval of minutes?
Aye.
Okay, minutes are approved. This is a meeting where we have public comment on anything other than what's on the agenda. We have these two cases that we'll be looking at and have comments on too. If somebody came for some other reason, we'll go for that. Sounds like weird cases. So we will close those public comments and move on to our regular business. And we will have staff introduce the first project.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good evening, members of the board. The request this evening is for multiple additions, and this is to the residence located at 1100 13th Street. And this is located in the 12th Street Historic District. Taking a look at the vicinity map here, the site is outlined in red. Illinois Street to the east, 13th Street to the south. This is a Carter School Mines building. There's an alley directly adjacent to the north, and then a single family located directly adjacent to the west. The property is zoned R3 as well as the properties surrounding. The total lot size is approximately 14,000 square feet in size, and the structure, again, is in the 12th Street Historic District and is considered a contributing structure to the district. I'll just go ahead and give you a shot looking. This is from 13th Street towards the front facade of the home. The structure, as you can see, is a 1.5-story brick structure with a low-pitched cross-gable roof with an eave overhang, as well as a large front porch that I'll go into a little bit more detail about here in a moment. The home was built in approximately 1924. Just a couple of views on each side of the existing structure. This is looking from the north at the rear portion of the property. This is looking from the west. And then this last shot is looking from Illinois Street, looking west. I'll go ahead and put the overall site plan up here. The applicant is proposing a new one-story addition with a walkout located on the west end of the existing structure. They're also proposing a new one-story addition at that front porch area that I showed just a moment ago. There's also a new one-story addition over the garage here, a new rooftop deck over the garage, and then towards the rear of the property, towards the alley, also a new one-story addition over the garage. The additions will total approximately 2,400 square feet of living space on the main level and 1,350 square feet at the basement level, and then a total of 1,600 square feet for vehicle parking. I'll just kind of go through some of the elevations to show you those additions. So the top one is looking towards the front facade. From the south, again looking north, this is where the front porch exists today. They would be enclosing that, and then this is the new addition to the west side of the property. And then the bottom one is the north elevation. These are kind of those garage-looking doors that exist today. And then this would be a new 3-car garage access from the alley. And lastly, these two elevations, the top one is from the east. This would be essentially Illinois Street. 2 more garage doors located there, so they would have additional access off of Illinois Street. And then the west elevation, as you can see, the additions over the garages, as well as the rooftop deck that I had mentioned earlier. The new construction, as you can see, will tie in with the existing architectural style. They'll try to match the existing brick that you see on site today, as well as the gable end siding and clipped gabled roof details as well. Staff has reviewed the adherence to the guidelines, and those were in your packets for your review. And staff believes that the changes are compatible with the existing structure as well as the overall historic character of the neighborhood. The board may want to discuss the overall size of the additions out there, but to keep in mind also that this is a 14,000 square foot lot. It's double the standard size lot that we see in Golden, which is about 7,000 square feet. So just something to take into consideration. With that, staff would be happy to answer questions, and then the applicants are here as well to answer any questions. Okay. Thank you.
We hear from the applicant now, would you like to add something?
I mean, hi, I'm Tracy Doig. Sure, my name's Tracy Doig. We're just here to let you guys know we're native Golden folks, and this is our forever home. We've always lived in Golden, and we've been looking to come down to Denver to start planning for our retirement. So this is just one of our things we've always wanted to do. I don't know what else we do. This is my first time coming to one of these, but my husband and I have been around this area for our whole lives, and we're born and bred here, and just is kind of, we just are Golden. We love it. So I don't know if you have any questions about the building or about what we're doing, but we're just here to answer any questions that you might have. Do you have anything to add, hon? And we're going to the Avs game, so we're excited for the Avs.
Discussion, yeah, but kind of swallowing the
So basically, the front porch is going away. It is. Yeah.
And the 1-car garage is becoming a 3-car garage.
The carriage
Oh,
house.
you actually, sorry, you have to approach the podium.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's actually coming a 2-car garage.
2-car garage.
I mean, the existing, oh, sorry.
So I'm not quite, never done one of these. So,
That's wrong.
yeah, no, that's what I want. So are you talking about this carriage, that carriage house right there?
I'm looking at the existing pictures,
Oh,
and it just shows that there is a 1-car garage in the main house.
right, it's an old carriage house, and we're keeping that as is. Basically, that was, that would fit a carriage, not a car.
Okay, where is that in relationship to this elevation view?
Right here. Am I on it?
Yeah, that's the carriage.
That's the carriage house. The 3-door, that's the carriage house. That's a accordion door. So it goes like this.
Right.
And that is currently, they've used that, the Cusacks use that as a bedroom for 30 years. So.
This is going to be a big place.
It's going to be, it seems big, but the way we drew it up, we were hoping to fit it in, and we think we've done a pretty good job with it. And we've really tried to keep it within the historical norms. It's one thing we really liked. Again, growing up here, I'm a native, she's a native. So,
But as is, it's only a 2-bedroom, 1-bath. So
yeah,
that's,
as is, it's only
if you think about
2-bedroom,
that,
1 bath. Pardon?
How large square footage?
I think it's
The original.
1,600.
The top is 1,600. with the basement would be another, I think, 1,200. So,
The old historical, and there's showing like 3,200 square feet.
Yeah, the basement used to be like a ballroom, so there's only one bathroom upstairs, and it's like open, and the carriage room is, yeah.
and the basement, one of the other things is the basement, the ceilings are about 7 feet. So,
It's kind of
you know,
short.
you can touch the ceiling, so it's not really, and we can't really use that space. It can't be removed, it can't be changed. So that's why everything's on the one level.
So this might be a question for staff. Why is the city feeling that this fits into the historical norms? This was not normal for 1924 construction. The changes that they're making the recommendation for, so.
Yeah, I don't think we feel that it takes away from the character, as long as they incorporate those architectural features. I think it looks, massing-wise, it looks larger on paper than what it's going to be when you see it on site, if you've seen the existing structure that's out there. Given also, if you subdivided the lot and built another single-family home that had the historical kind of features, then it'd almost look the same without, you know, the separation between the two homes. But yeah, given the size of the lot, really.
What architecture firm are you working with?
C Architecture, Ron C.
Are they, do they do a lot of historic properties?
He
or-
does a lot of historic properties in Denver.
Okay.
He's done a couple properties here in Golden. I don't know if they were historic. But he is very familiar. His father also grew up here. What is he in?
I don't know,
again?
he's Golden Elks Club, but I don't know.
Golden Elks Club.
But-
So, and we've really tried to make it, you know, fit the nature of the neighborhood. Also, you know, we've found the brick manufacturer. We have somebody that can replicate the windows. Those can't be replicated as they are, which is probably a good thing, actually, for energy efficiency. So it does look pretty big on paper, but when you see it, when you see the site, you'll understand what it is. It doesn't really take away from it. You know, our neighbor to the, that would be the south, is the back wall of the Colorado School of Mines field house. Our neighbor to the east is an apartment building. On the west side of us are 2 rental properties.
And then a 5-story.
I drove by it the other day. I mean, it's a cool house.
Yeah, we love it.
It's kind of dragging that you live in the forest.
Well,
We go back and forth with that.
we're
That has
still
been,
talking about it.
The porch is, now that's kind of historic. I mean, that's,
Yeah.
you know.
it's just getting access into it. That was our only thing.
It is the
Because
access.
we moved if you see the entryway right here, that's the existing study. So the door was usually, so we're using that as the entryway now to kind of even out the house so it wouldn't look lopsided.
Right.
So that's what we gave up to get that, just to get some windows and light, because as it is now, it's kind of dark in there because that patio covers.
Large overhang.
Yeah, and then back in the day, there's really minimal windows in the top, so it kind of makes it dark and that just opens it up a little bit.
And we also have to, that corner of the house is, they had caissons put in back, I guess, maybe in the 70s, and we need to replace those. So part of that has to be removed anyway and then rebuilt. So, but we do go back I love that, I love that porch
love
too.
that porch.
It's really cool to sit out there and look at the mountain too, so.
So the core of the house, will it, you're putting on these things to the sides and back, and will the core of the house throughout its construction remain fairly constant? Are you touching much fabric in there?
No, we're just updating the kitchen. So we're going to use one of the bedrooms, which really doesn't feel like a bedroom because it connects to the kitchen. Like back in the day, it was literally a
Right.
swinging door. So we're going to go into that and do more kitchen stuff in there.
Right.
And then, like I said, there's only one bathroom, and the toilet was original. Everything is,
Everything is original.
everything's pretty much original, so. So it needs some tender loving care and some updating, big time.
And will the new parts carry it forth, you're gonna use some similar brick, or you're gonna use getting that stripe?
I mean, we're gonna match everything we've got. The only thing, the brown is kind of an ugly brown, so we'll probably do maybe a lighter color, just to lighten it
Up on top,
Up on top,
the
yeah.
siding up on top, it'll probably be painted white.
You're talking about this, like this area? So what you're asking?
Up in the top area, is that what you're?
No, I'm just talking about the brick in general.
Oh, the brick.
Yeah, no,
No,
we're gonna keep
we've,
that the same.
yeah, we found them. Yeah, we'll keep the same pattern.
Yeah, we don't want to re-brick a house.
just, I'm kind of getting at a concern that I just trying to get at, the core of the house is essentially in there, in the front face.
Nick, do you think the additions will be sufficiently clear that they're additions and not part of the historic
And
original property?
that it won't look too much like an addition?
Well, I mean, isn't part of the regulations that it's supposed to be like similar enough so it fits the character, but distinct enough so you can tell what part was added on? But
Yeah, I think, but that sometimes is up for debate with the board as well. Because I know, say for example, Mr. Ewers in town thinks that that distinction should be made, that any addition should kind of stand out as the addition and not match exactly what the existing looks like. So, I don't know, I think that's something that the board may want to discuss too. Yeah.
That's a good point, it's always a difficult thing in historic projects to want to have as much character as possible, which you can really achieve with the roof line and giving the same level of form and stuff. But at the same time, we don't want to fool people into thinking that this is something else, because it's hard to replicate. You kind of like to stick that Secretary of State is generally about making a little bit of distinction between build and new, so you're not trying to fool people into thinking that it's part of the historic structure. So in that vein, you know, having some a little bit of variation between, I mean, because you don't want to be brick is great, but maybe to just vary it a little bit in terms so that those pieces end up being a little bit distinct.
I mean,
Well, the west side,
Windows, maybe the windows that you select, you know, you keep the old windows in the oldest part, and maybe have a more modern sash.
Okay.
Just some subtle things, not glaringly making it stainless steel or something.
right. No, we don't want that.
That's
So-
the things about our board, the different whole variation. We see the glass box stuff next to
Where the
something.
front, where the front door is, you said it's the study.
uh-huh,
I'm sorry, I don't know your house, so I
Sure.
don't know where the study is.
yep.
In this picture
Yep.
of the house?
Yep.
Is the 3 windows there where the study is in that picture?
If you can hold it up, we
Yeah,
can't see it.
This one?
You did that right. That's the
Yep.
3 windows
Yep.
is the study,
That's
yes.
the study.
Since we're adding a master bedroom to the left, we centered
What
the
are you
door.
actually keeping of the front facade of the house? Because that is gonna become a doorway, so you're gonna be adding a ton of bricks. I mean, for me, I think that that's not a concern about, is there gonna be any distinction between the original structure? Because the original structure is just not gonna exist anymore. As it stands today, that is not gonna be how that looks. What was 3 windows is becoming a doorway, and you're gonna have a little bit of brick on either side, but the front elevation.
Actually, I disagree. There's going to be quite a bit of brick on each side. And if you look at the front stoop, if you look at the houses in our neighborhood, they look like that.
Yeah, we're actually,
We've been very
Right,
diligent.
What I'm saying is that from a historical perspective, I don't think that we need to worry too much about, you're covering up all of the eastern elevation, right? Because that's gonna become an enclosed porch, or not an
No.
enclosed porch, but an enclosed area of room.
right, so what we did was we removed the door because it would look really awkward to keep the tiny
Stay
door on the
there.
side and then have this addition. So we tried to center it, thinking it would aesthetically it'd look better than having a teeny door off the porch.
Right, but where the 3 windows are
Uh-huh,
is becoming the doorway.
Correct.
Everything to the west of that is going to be new, and everything actually to the east of that is going to be new, except for maybe you can save the bricks of where the existing porch sits today.
yeah, those bricks will all be saved, yep.
So,
Right.
so what I'm saying is that I think it's gonna be very easy to say the front of the facade is actually almost all new. Now, it's the side elevations that, you know, how have those changed, but I don't think there's gonna be too much of a concern about saying what has really changed historically here on the front of the house. Because it's virtually all that's going to change.
It's definitely cheaper to do siding, so if you're saying use siding on some of the new stuff, that would be much
We'd
cheaper
be
in
happy
my
to do
eyes.
that. So,
That's all, I was just didn't think that we had that big of a concern of trying to denote what is original and what is.
Is that board and batten up on top, or what, with the vertical?
it is,
I don't know what
Okay.
that is.
you would call it that, but it's, yeah, it's probably, 75 years old. So, and it does need to come out no matter what we do, so.
Oh, no, I'm just trying to figure out what that material is. I mean, it's it's all gonna be replaced, so it's.
Right.
it's
It-
vertical
Exactly. Yeah,
siding or
it'll be exactly the same.
Okay.
Yep. Yep.
I've done an old house, I know, I've gone through this, just what you guys did.
Yeah.
We're like, ah.
Right.
It's exciting but scary.
Well, yeah.
I love the character as it is. I wish there was a way that you could rejigger everything in there to give you somehow magically an extra 1,000 square feet.
Right.
But it sounds like you've tried that every which way.
Right.
We
I'm
really
a
have.
porch guy, so, yeah, but I'm not gonna, you know, hold.
There's something when you walk through the school minds campus.
Yeah, yeah, you gotta-
I have to be honest, when you're coming down Illinois and you're just walking down the school minds, I live on that side of town, so I walk down there quite regularly.
Right.
Yeah.
And I love your house, so.
We do too, that's why I jumped.
The only reason why I want to vote no is that I love how your house looks.
No, we promise, we love it, or we would, I mean, we could do something different, and we love it. We promise the folks we bought it from, we cherish, I mean, there's memories, the stories, everything about this house is amazing.
It's very cool.
We want to keep
It's
the
very cool.
integrity of everything. I mean, they made us a new cutting board to put in the kitchen. I mean,
Yeah.
it's got some incredible history. And so that's why we spent so much time making sure we are just adding where we can live. Like, I'm a bath girl. I need a bathtub in a master bedroom, and, you know, stuff like that. There's one bathroom in the house, so. Yeah.
Any more discussion, any particular, we want to put any, before we make a motion, are there any suggestions of we want to put into findings?
I mean, I'm okay like approving it as is, but maybe just a suggestion that they take back some of this feedback to their architect and just see, but I'm fine with it.
I don't know how you, I mean, I don't know how you would do anything else to try to get the space you want in the front. You know, Your stuff, really, and, believe me, I know, I've done it, so.
It's more palatable than height pop-up.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, the height is increasing here, correct?
No.
Look at those front gables.
No,
No.
no, all that is
Yeah,
that's
we
the
made sure
existing.
we've-
We just put lights in there, more light to go in.
So, yeah, it's the same
More
height
windows.
as the roof is right now.
Okay.
Yeah, everything's the same up
But
front.
you're putting another gable in though.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, because you can tell, your east-west
Yeah.
Yeah.
is that same elevation.
That's a good thing.
That's a tile roof?
It is metal,
Metal.
It's metal? Okay.
and Richard was very proud of that roof.
It's like, it's a metal roof.
Yeah.
All right, then we're ready for motion?
Okay. In the matter of case HPB 19-04, a request for certificate of appropriateness review for the proposed construction of multiple additions located at 1100 15th Street. I move that the Historic Preservation Board adopt the findings, recommendations, and conditions found in the attached resolution number HPB 19-04.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right, congratulations on the
Great,
first
thank you
step.
very much, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, we do, thank
But when
you.
you come by, stop, once we can have people over, come
So we
by.
need those, right?
We're gonna be very inconvenient to show up and try to all use one bathroom.
Yeah, yeah.
Just a sidebar, you guys can kind of go through tax credits?
I haven't even thought of that.
No, not that I know of, so,
You should.
okay.
Well, yeah, I should talk to you.
Okay.
Or maybe, do you have your name here somewhere? I can
Yeah.
email you.
Oh, yeah.
There's certain advantages to that. so I-
Oh, yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, I appreciate that very much.
You bet.
Thank you.
That's good to know.
You're in a historic
Thanks, yours.
district, you might as well use it.
Okay, yeah, we weren't aware of that.
Any guidance?
Any kind, we love that.
It's on the old part, you know, the new stuff can't, but anything you do to the old, if you're redoing the kitchen, if you're painting, whatever. you can use it.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, well, we,
It's advantageous.
yeah, we weren't, thank you very much. We weren't aware of that.
Yeah, that's good
That's
to know.
great. So,
Thank you very
Okay.
much. Is
Absolutely.
that all we do, Nick?
thank you. We're done, okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, appreciate it.
So for the next item on the agenda, you will need to officially open it and offer any sort of public comment, and then close public comment, and then vote to continue it to next month.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, HPV 19-05-1903 4th Street was to appropriateness. We have no, the owner's not, or there's no one here to present tonight, so we
Correct.
continue it. But since it was on the agenda and published, and we sign and all that.
Since it was
we'll not
published.
Open it to anybody that came to comment. What do you do?
You can open it to public comment.
All right.
Yep.
Did anybody come expecting to talk about that case or raise some information? Since nobody did, I would just close public comment and then need a motion to continue or just.
Someone can just make that motion, yeah.
Okay, moved in second. Second. All right, moved in second to continue, all in favor? Aye. Okay, we'll do that, when it's ready. Are there any other matters? We're gonna go through some things in study session with our guests here tonight, but, we could adjourn to study session. We don't have any other official business to do. So.
I motion to adjourn.
All right, moved and seconded.
Did you guys
Come
want
on, come on
to sit
down.
here, or? I will come down there. Okay. I saw the house for sale, and it had this tiny little for sale by owner sign on it.
Yeah.
And I looked at my wife and I said, we should put in an offer on that. And she's like, no, it won't go.
Gone in a couple
Yeah.
of days.
One of these days I will get down and live in the historic district. We did. Okay.
I think it's bounced off my ears.
655 if you need it.
All right, thanks.
Did Amber leave?
She did, she took a position in Lakewood, yeah.
Why did she want to be in Lakewood?
I don't know.
Oh, thank you. Because she lives in Arvada.
Yeah, she's kind of on the west side of our. So it's still a longer
Yeah,
commute
I was like-
for her, yeah.
That's. Sorry,
You know, just.
her and I have mutual friends, and I was just like,
Oh, yeah.
is that doing Golden Golden? You're doing this? Come on.
Wanna sit over here, Bill? All right. So I think the first part was that Mr. Litz was just gonna kind of give a small update on the territorial capital district. We were hoping to have a guest speaker, but they may be coming next month, so.
They are both set to come next month, and I think you said that there will be
Yep,
a meeting next month, right?
yep, that's correct.
Okay, so Ms. Woods, we'll turn it over to you for an update on you guys working on this here, so let's hear how it's going.
Great. Yeah, I'll tell you, let's see, Janine is painting in Italy right now, so, I said she could do my house.
what?
Painting.
She
She's
went on
on,
the foothills trip?
yeah, she's like Como. So, she and I have gone back and forth a little bit, but I think the primary thing that we just wanted to touch base on is that, she and I have had two meetings, with Metcalf Metcalf Archaeology. And what we're looking at, it's kind of developing into possibly 3 grants. Metcalf is interested in this because they would like to see a program that they're using for their own needs expanded. And the idea right now would be to, one, bring it in as part of the walking tours, and then from there add to it. And there is room down the road to add a commercial arm to the program as well, where we could start bringing some businesses in, especially businesses in historic buildings. They have a program that's well-developed, and what we've been discussing with them right now, and they are willing to basically write the grants for us. And we're talking about actually 3 grants right now. This is the one, CLG.
Yeah.
And let me just kind of walk through these. There would be 3 grants that we could be looking at. One would be an education grant with the state. They're pretty easy with that money. They love educational programs. We're thinking that we could use their educational program to actually design the tour. We're looking at the CLG grant. Now, my understanding is you guys did apply for one, was it last year?
Yeah, for the historic
the-
preservation plan.
For the plan, and were turned down.
Yeah.
Was there, did they ever give you a reason?
Yeah, they give you 4, they give you the 4 reviews, scores,
Mm-hmm.
and 3 were all over it, and one just thought,
One of the readers?
one of the readers didn't like it. They thought it didn't have enough to do with
Yeah, I
the
was-
fabric.
Yeah, I was
They-
joking
they-
with
they-
them.
Somebody seemed to have a little bit of a bias against planning stuff. It
Okay.
wasn't nuts and bolts enough for,
Um,
they wanted more fabric type stuff.
Well, I know that Janine got in touch with Meg Van Ness, and what Meg's thought was, if in fact the city or HPB did not have another use for that CLG grant, that they would write the CLG grant to pay for the rest of the surveys. Because we're still in the same boat on the surveys, right?
Yep, we are.
We can only get how many more done in 19?
We're doing 10 this year,
Which would then, and that left how many?
and that would leave us 11.
Okay.
Or no, 9, because Rick axed 2. So there were 29 total for the district.
all right,
So
okay.
that would leave us 9, yeah.
Is that of interest to the HPB board?
Yeah, because that frees up our next 10. This is, we're
Mhm.
only going to knock out 10 a year, and we probably want to go to another area next time.
And 2019 also is the last year of the whole 5-year agreement to do 10 each year. So we'll have to potentially ask
We'll ask
council
council for 20.
for budget to maybe do 10 a year for another 5 years, so.
We'll ask for 20, and then.
Well, would that, when you talk about that many, is that including going back in and redoing the existing?
That's what we're doing.
We
but
have-
never many of them
yeah.
are.
Okay, all right,
Mhm.
not
Something
just
we have to
new.
think about, is it worth, I mean, we do have, when we get these other 10, we will have, everything will have something. Some are just very old. Yes.
Mhm.
So, it's kind of, well, do we keep update, if we could get forever stuck with 10 years, just updating a handful, because we'll have to kind of look at priorities. If we could get the CLG to finish out, since we really, since this district is a priority for us to
Mhm.
get going with that, and if we could round that out, keep momentum in that, and then we could focus our next 10 surveys.
And then what, you would have to go back to the city to renegotiate the 10 a year? Or-
Yeah, yeah.
All right, okay.
If for some reason we didn't get the grant for the 9 and had to do that in 2020, yeah.
Well, I'll simply talk to Michelle at Metcalf and say that's what we want to do then. I'll shoot something off to Janine and Meg as well. The other thing was that we've been discussing a 3rd grant, an archaeology grant for Goosetown, which would allow possibly some use of drones and some ground penetrating radar, and start working on Goosetown as well, because I think everybody figures that the historic district, the territorial historic district is gonna push into 2020. It's not gonna get done in 19, so why not work on both of them simultaneously?
That was our, kind of the next on our list, and also, whether it's a district or not, I think we need some data down there. If the city's
Is-
gonna look to move down there, I think it
Right.
would be good to have knowledge of what's there.
I mean, they're already planning.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're already planning parking lots and other things around that building, so I don't think there's any reason not
Yeah.
to move on that as well.
That area's gonna
Right.
blossom into something that
Be
we're
a-
gonna be aware of what historic resources.
Be a light rail station someday.
I know.
they are now. Yeah, drones for everything. But that, and again, given the fact that Metcalf is willing to do the heavy lifting on the grants, I'd say let's go ahead on all of them. At least start moving forward.
Now, which of these would need some match money in them?
Well, you know probably more about the CLGs. They don't, do they?
Yeah,
I think there's-
Did you?
25%
There's
of
one that does need some sort of match. There's always Erica, who was here with History Colorado, who could fill us in maybe.
CLG grants do not require match.
Do
Any
not,
other grants
Right. Yeah.
So do you know that Michelle and Nathan at Metcalf?
Michelle Slaughter?
Yes. Yeah.
You said it with such familiarity, I was like,
No. Well, anyway, they're the ones that are working with us. And you can always raise your hand and say, no, you're wrong on that one. Okay.
And are those matches all cash, or can it be, can you make a case for in kind?
SHF, state historical fund grants have to be cash. 25%.
Including whether they are education or archaeology.
The education, yes. Archaeology, I believe there is one that is non-competitive, but I am not that familiar with that one, so.
I was sure that there was one of them we were talking about not, or being able to do in-kind, and maybe it was the archaeology. Not sure. But again, like I said, they're willing to do the heavy lifting and do most of the writing on these, so I think we move forward. The other things that we had discussed were that, first of all, Janine has a volunteer who is ready to start doing, going to each property and pulling up the coordinates on them, GPS coordinates in case they weren't done. And I looked at this one for 10th Street. And I think it's one of the older ones. The one
Survey?
that Kinsman just did.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
And
near Washington.
there's no data on it. So Janine has someone who's willing to do that as a volunteer, and they're still out of the country, so I can basically volunteer Joe Ronan. No. Kristen actually kind of offered Joe up as a photographer for this program. And he's willing to shoot photos, current photos of everything that's on the list, all the properties. That's kind of where I'm at, or where we're at. I think our meetings with them have been really successful, and they're, like I said, they're willing to work with us on all these.
Nick, just so we don't mislead Metcalf, is this okay to be doing this, and if we haven't yet identified at 25%, if we can actually go for these?
Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with it from a city perspective,
I
yeah,
was gonna
yeah.
ask that same question, but if they're willing to
But
do
if we
it.
get
Yeah.
if we get it together, then we might have to go and ask for somebody.
Right.
Right.
I mean, I think their point is that,
I don't want to be wasting time if there's no chance what's ever getting a match, or if we shouldn't be.
I would imagine they
leading
get
them on
those
by
grants together
saying,
pretty
this is free help, and then, oh, never mind, we can't really put in for the things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we just can't, I mean, yeah, it's not guaranteed that
Right.
we would be able to bring it, so I guess there's just that level of uncertainty, so, yeah.
well, and that's why we'd bring them in June and have them discuss exactly how they want to move forward. I think, again, one of their points is that this application exists, they are using it right now, but they would really like to see broader use, and broader use by the historic community in the state, as well as being able to, again, to have some link to commerce to help pay for it. So I think they feel that their reward will come later, and they're willing to do a lot of this work up front to get it moving.
That's okay, it's fine, the city doesn't have any problem with it, that's fine, that's great.
I'll double check too, just to make sure, yeah.
Make sure we should be.
Yeah.
And they'll probably want to contact you also on the CLG.
Yeah.
Phil, you're not representing the city in this, though, you're representing
GLA.
GLA, yeah. So,
All right.
No, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, this is being worked on, in a sense, privately by both the commercial interest and the nonprofit. And I just figure if we can get this done for the city and we can get it done with the least amount of work for all of us, that we move forward on it.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you guys.
Yeah, thanks.
All right. Okay.
And
Oh, one last thing. Meg had also contacted Janine and brought up whether we could get all the current surveys right now. She has someone, and she will also start loading information in on each of the properties.
for the district,
Mhm.
yeah, that would be easy to get to her,
Okay.
yeah.
And then some of those are gonna be old and some new, right?
Well, at the end of this year, the first 20 will be brand new,
Okay.
so, yeah.
And then do the other 10 exist in an older
Some of them
format?
do, yeah, some of them do. I think
Okay.
it's 7 or 8.
Okay.
We have the majority of them, so,
And
but
that's, I
some of them are
think-
just really old, yeah.
And I think that's what,
really old. I mean, by the time we get the ones for
Right.
this year, we will have something on everything. It may not be the most up to date.
and I think that's what you and I had talked about, is just get it going.
Keep it rolling. We don't have to wait for the last 10 to be updated to do this. We have some information.
Yeah. Well, we're ready to go, like I said, and they're ready to come in June and just talk specifically about what they can do.
Okay. Okay, I just want to give you guys an update on, I've been talking to some of the boards and to city council a bit. I took a few of those ideas that I had gotten from the conference and some other things over to planning commission. I tried to frame it a little bit. I gave them a quick overview of our historic preservation plan, just so you know that was done. And I gave just a little bit of overlap. I also just went back and looked at, I was good to refresh, on our charter and what we do versus what they do, just real quick. And that my main point with them was, we're really all about carrots, we have no sticks. And it was really timely how we got that little article that the lady forwarded, Nick, the lady who started was in on the first district of 12th Street. Gave us that little note on some of the history, and that was really
neat.
interesting.
Yeah.
And, that precipitated in creating the ordinance, and it goes back to the 80s. So our roots of being the board go back to the 80s, and that's when the ordinance was done, and that's what fits into something, in the ideas from conferences. One of the things I took to them was that, a lot of communities are doing reviews of their codes, and that's a periodic thing to do. You can't always, and planning commissions very much pushing to have that done for all of the planning guidance as part of it. And the reason is they're trying to respond to this whole effort going right now about, what, focusing on golden and what we want to be, because people do have set about all development stuff going on. So I just went kind of with some, the guiding golden thing. I tried to bring a few ideas I thought could feed into that. One was, that, the second that bullet there, the code review, and that we've talked about that on our board too, and that it wasn't something we did this year, but certainly we'd like to look at that on the horizon. And if the city hires a consultant to help, analyze and review stuff, we'd like to raise our hand and be part of, say, look at the historic preservation codes too,
Mhm.
and see if they're doing what we want them to do. I think
That would help ensure consistency.
Yeah. And, are they really helping us achieve it? And then since they're talking about, their guiding goal, and I saw one thing is we could be advocating for more historic districts. That people want to do things like they are, keep some character, historic preservation is a piece of that, if we have things to, feed into that.
But again, we need sticks. We can't keep doing it with carrots.
Well, that would be part of the code,
Yeah.
part of looking at the effectiveness of those things. But also, what they did loud and clear at the conference was, a lot of these things have to really be very grassroots, and that's how 12th Street happened. And that's why some things happened and some didn't, maybe at a different point in time. Maybe we can get out more information to everybody about historic things, neighbors might take a nibble and want to start organizing to, we've got to be some of both, we need some leadership and education out there, what could be happen, but we also, it's sort of this balance, you know, we need to look at maybe a few more sticks or better carrots or something to make these things happen. Get interested in better carrots, I would think. Tastier carrots.
I just look at Fourth Street and it just seems like every time I drive down there, there's another sign of going for public comment. And I'm like, I don't even want to know what that public
I know.
comment is because it's going to be ripping down whatever's there for some mega duplex, triplex or something like that, so.
So wait till you see 24th when it's done.
Yeah.
There is a new bonfire for me to go on 22nd.
There is?
Yeah.
The old frame shop.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, is that-
They came by we were asked to sign if we're okay with them getting a liquor license.
But they're going to keep building though, right?
Are they still gonna have a little?
I didn't, yeah, they're still gonna have the food truck, and they're gonna have a second, like, in, like, the restaurant.
Started at high school.
Yeah,
Golden
My
success.
kid went to school with those guys.
Yeah, that's good. Good night.
And the building's ready to go, so it should be like a quick move-in, because it used to be a Taco John's or Del
I
Taco.
have this Taco John.
Yeah.
And I talked a little bit about having legacy businesses and kosher workspaces. But I got some good ideas from them too. I mean, I also, one idea that came up, we talked a little bit about this idea of a database for Golden's history. And this would go, I mean, it's a great start to start putting in coordinates on surveys. But some places like Colorado Springs have the most incredible collection of old maps and records and data spatially, in a GIS database that any one of us could go on, click there, and you bring up layers of where the sewers used to be, where the waters used to be, in a different water system, and the names of neighborhoods, and just all kinds of data spatially available, layered in history. It's amazing. And they got pretty excited about that.
I was gonna say, I
Starting to push.
had a couple of replies that they really enjoyed looking at it, yeah.
And they were pushing Steve Bush a little bit, was the kind of thing, it was very sort of planning commission and us, it's something we might want to have, help push, or if they continue their interest, work with them somehow to push for something like that. Because that's the kind of thing, if people could look and find out more about history of the neighborhood, maybe they'd be more inclined to say, yeah, let's get some better preserve this stuff and something like that. And the planning commission also brought us, just sort of mentioned, they just gave me some feedback. They said they thought that Golden could do a little more in terms of marking historic districts and things like that. So we talked about that a little bit. It's kind of on the list of things to think about in the next couple of years. Again, Guy Golden, they're thinking of, they're pushing, the city might actually be doing it more formal, and we should be part of that. They do both. And they had a few ideas about some more carrots and talked a little bit about sticks, but we didn't come up with any good sticks. It was just a quick meeting, but that thought is there that we need to put teeth in some of this stuff.
Oh, just like today, if we voted no on that, they could just
They could just
wait 6
level it
months and then do it.
and put a
Yeah.
three-story, multi-family. Yeah. Okay, and then I went to city council and presented even a shorter version of some things, and they just had a few comments, some group that's interested in, yeah, it's sort of like geocaching themes, historic themes and information. Have you run into that bill at all anywhere, this group? It's a
No.
group called GLDA, that stands for Councilwoman Social Guard.
No.
Just to be aware of it, something like that. And then Councilwoman Laura
Weinberg?
Weinberg,
Yeah. She impressed me, she had read the whole thing. So she said she was thrilled to issue out, she found it, had a lot of good information and stuff, but she kept looking for, okay, what are the goals? You're supposed to, at the beginning it said it's for vision goals, I couldn't find them. She likes to set some of this. And just long as I thought what districts might be out there. there, you know, she's like, if you're talking about maybe for more historic districts, I said, well, we hadn't really, we've got a couple in the queue to try to move along with, who's down in territory capital, but we hadn't taken the plan, we haven't had a couple months, and then we'll take a chance to do that, but lo and behold, we got that nice, memorandum for Rick Garden, he's been thinking about it. So, there's some cool ideas in there, really good, and he, I also really enjoyed his thoughts on the legacy business idea, that it could be more than businesses, that institutions, churches and clubs and things. It's a really interesting idea. It's kind of listening out, so that's really good. And one of the councilmen brought up that some shop in Golden went down to the History Museum, got themselves some photos and information, and put that in their shop somehow, integrated in their business, and get a lot of good feedback. So we'd just like to see more of that, us, if any way we can help make that happen. A lot of that's history museum stuff, but just, that's a good place to get new businesses that come in interested in finding out about history and including in their businesses. And then, someone else brought up that maps, I think it was probably Laura, maps would have been really helpful in the plan, and that's true. But we also talked about the GIS thing, I think that's cool. You know, you got maps of all, I mean, except think about, sometimes we ask you, maybe say, quick, put down all the things for territorial capital, and then put down some of that. But it'd be great if we just started loading in all the things that we do have into GIS database. And Councilman Dale said, yeah, he's from a planning commission too, so he's like, yeah, it's time for code reviews, we're at here, but we're doing like that too, so.
So ran on historic preservation, preserving Golden's historic nature campaign.
Yeah,
So it should be.
yeah, so we did this opportunity, and I don't know if it's through our articles or what, but this opportunity, if this guy in Golden, and people want to hang on to what's, something about Golden, it certainly seems like historic preservation. Good way to help do that. And two other short things. One was, you mentioned, Nick, that with Stacy going, there was a little bit of a loss about packets and hard copies, whether or not to send a hard copy.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, sure, I like hard copies, but I just wanted to ask, do we need hard copies? It's a lot of paper. Personally, I really appreciate them because this is easy for me to take on my telephone or something, go out and look at these projects, and I take the little thing and go out and look at the project.
I agree.
I can't handle that.
I like to have that, yeah.
So,
Yeah, and I'm not really an electronic person, but I like having paper.
Well, I like having both.
Right, yeah.
I can go either way. I mean, you know, if there's a.
I mean, that's probably enough right there. We'll just stick
Right.
with the hard copies, yeah.
Okay.
It's probably easiest, so.
Because I end up printing stuff at home anyway, sometimes, like,
I hate when it
I wanna see the
over, it
math.
goes to the recycled
I
bin,
know.
and it's a lot of color printing, but it really helps me be able to look at those.
Well, and I've been, I've got my books. I
yeah,
have hard
I
copies
keep
of the
some of
surveys
them.
and, yeah,
It's a really interesting.
I can see.
it's just weird.
And go back and look and.
And maybe someday you'll be supplied with an iPad each or something up here, you know. I've seen that other places, but,
That's more like that.
yeah, just at each station up here.
Well, I just,
We can't, like this, you can, I mean, I sit there right on it.
With how technology is getting now, it would be good if we could actually then collaborate before we actually come to the meetings. I don't know if that's even allowed, but it would be nice if we could write in margins and share with the team of which that technology is coming, just one. And at that point, then it would actually see the benefits, someone can get Bill's
Yeah,
comments,
yeah.
and, yeah, we can see all the.
I think that already exists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
But, I mean, we'd be violating public meeting rules.
Yeah, if you were meeting outside of this and discussing one of the cases,
Sure,
yeah.
anytime we try and be violating whatever.
This isn't even just replying all to your emails, considering that.
If it's in regards to a case and there's more than two of you, yeah.
Yeah.
usually all the graphics are about cases.
And the one other item I had was, Emma's our volunteer writer for the fun articles. And she asked me, Kyle, and maybe I said, okay, but I don't really,
It's still on the list to
but
discuss
I
at a study
was
session.
wondering if, yeah, I mean, I was wondering, I said, boy, if I like I'm not, I think I'm on deck after you, and and I think it'd be
I
helpful.
thought
to
we had like 3 or 4 ideas, but I couldn't remember any of them that we talked about.
I think it'd be helpful if we had some general, like, generate a list of some ideas people could pick from to help
Yeah.
somebody get some, just might be stuck.
Yeah.
And I just also, I put something together last winter, and we haven't had time to look at it, but just maybe we could all agree on a few guidelines to help somebody get started. Just, because nothing's super short, getting that space in the Informer is real.
It's like a page.
It's
Yeah,
just
it's
a page,
tight.
but it's a gift. I mean, it's, we want to make the most of our 500 words in a picture for impact on historic preservation. So, what can we do to make those, make the best use of those?
Yeah.
It's a wonderful gift to us to be able to do that.
Yeah, that's nice.
So, I don't know, maybe next time though, just take a look at those draft guidelines. If we don't need anything, we don't need any, say, ads, some ideas, isn't, we don't do it. But I just thought that'd be helpful. Things down there. Somebody says, what am I supposed to write? Well, here's suggested possibilities, here's kind of how a lot of
list of really good things, as I recall. So I'm gonna have to look back through all my hard copies and see what.
But
I have
it's
to,
also,
know you.
Yeah, but I mean, because there's no author line, right? It's kind of just a, so you can't, like I wrote about Goosetown, and I wanted to like start it off by like, my experience with Goosetown up until recently was just the Byron Colfax, but that's like putting myself into the story, and there's no real author, it's just there from the voice of the Historic Preservation Board, so I didn't do that, so, I don't know, like.
That would make it more, a lot of people probably do think what's happening.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
But,
Anybody else have anything since we're done?
I was just gonna say one other thing, because it's something that you brought up, I don't even know what it was. But one of the ideas with this application is that you will be able to go in and let's say that we've got, like in our oral histories at GLA, let's say we have done an oral history on one of the owners of one of these properties. That can be hung in the application, including new photos. There was one thing that they talked about, which I thought was terrific, which they took one of the original buildings on the School of Mines campus and took a photo that was, I think, at least 100 years old, and then superimposed the current image of the same property over it. And I guess there were just great things happening, like they're all looking at it on a pad, and they've got people, contemporary students walking out of this building that was, 1895 or whatever, and the two kind of time periods are melding into each other. So there's a lot that can be done with it, and I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. And-
Thank you all.
Thanks, Bill. Appreciate it.
What do we want to do to get into this?